do you attach that to your homeowner's policy or do you do that separately? Because I think there's some pros and cons to both approaches that we should
Yeah.
maybe talk about with folks, right?
Yeah, let's start with attaching it to your homeowner's policy because I think that's probably one of the easier way to do it, right? You're
Sure.
gonna call your agent to talk about your home insurance.
Yeah. And you have the convenience of, probably bundled billing. It's convenient. You have one source, one carrier, and so on. Usually pretty inexpensive, even.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the cons of that could be really that any claim about your jewelry impacts the price of your overall homeowner's policy, which you might not want.
Yeah, and you might not want to do that either, especially you when you live in a regions like where we are, we have a lot of catastrophic weather events
Oh,
all the
wow.
time, right? And so it's not unusual that you might have to use your homeowner's insurance for windstorm damage and things like that.
Right.
But just know, guys, I think we covered this in the other episode, right? Of course, yes, you can use your insurance in case of a claim, of course. But keep in mind, if there are too many claims and too many little claims, you might be running out of the mulligans and you might find yourself in a very, very tough situation.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I do want to address this too, it's because when we have that many claims in a short period of time, just think about that, right? It makes our household become a higher risk too.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
it might, we just don't want you to find out later after you learn that there's other ways that you can go about this without using up all your homeowner's claims mulligan that you might need to really save
Sure,
for the
sure.
rainy, rainy day.
Yeah. And I think the other thing to consider too is for people with very high value collections,
Oh,
whether
yeah.
that's silver or jewelry or whatever it is, artwork, even like you talked about,
Hmm.
multiple, luxury type of pieces. Those types of things also might be maybe even less expensive and better off on a separate policy. So, like you said, just, things to consider and reasons to talk to an agent about what the best way to do this would be.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And of course, Christy, if your agent can help you get a separate policy for your collectibles, then hey, you can file those claims, maybe have those $0 deductibles, and those claims, guys, do not go against your record in any way. It does not go
Right.
against your home claim history, which is a huge plus for you because that can impact your rate and your
Mhm.
renewal eligibility, right? And oftentimes, and I think Christy can tell you more about it too, is you will get more coverage with, and not so much the value, right, Christy, but like the what cause of loss would be
Sure.
covered under the policy.
Right. Like you mentioned, the worldwide coverage, the mysterious disappearance, just, multiple causes that, beyond what the fire and, tornado or theft claims that can be covered on a homeowner's policy.
Yeah. And some policy, some separate policy, let's say jewelry, for example, can even cover like damage. So like let's say one of the
Sure.
stones fell out, right, Christy? That
Hmm.
happened to people. And
Or,
that
pair versus single type of coverage. You lose one earring, but not both of them. Well, you can't buy just one.
right.
So those policies might, pay to replace the set.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so I think that the biggest takeaway here, Christy, is almost I maybe am biased, but I am more leaning towards the separate kind of policy kind of camp. Just because I think uh we just have a lot of claims out here. So like we want to
Yeah,
make sure our customers save the claim for when they truly need it, when their home is damaged from a bad storm. But
exactly.
that's my take on that. What do you think, Christy?
And I tend to agree with you. Maybe, I mean, the one exception I think, like, if I look at my ring, it's not coming off my hand. I weigh a little bit more than I used to when I first got married and first put it on my finger. And I never take it off. I sleep in it. I literally never, ever take it off. So I
Mhm.
don't frankly worry so much about losing it away from home. It's really good. If my finger comes off, that's about the only way that my ring's coming off. I'm totally honest. So
That's
I
right.
honestly just have mine insured on my homeowner's policy. But
Sure.
for different types of situations, I tend to agree with you that maybe a separate policy is better.